Shall I continue? So if you're just catching me, what you missed, or did miss, was we had a 10-inch round that we painted with a thin layer of gray, so we could still see the grain. We used Pray Until the Cows Come Home, and then we used a Holstein cow from the farm transfers, okay? And I showed you that I had base coated a block blue. We base coated one a light blue. Hello again, thank you, Erin. And we have an ivory one off to the side that who knows if we're gonna get to them all or not. I used the big diamond, open diamond on this one, and I did it in the ivory, and then I just pulled a little bit of the, don't like that at all, colonial blue into it, just to soften it, okay? And then I'm taking one of the letters from the New Alphabet stencil, and I'm gonna do a contrasting color. I said I want this to look like, my idea was denim, but I think because I'm gonna go off into that blue a little bit, I'm just gonna pick a more, I don't know, kind of a country-ish red. So this is Rookwood red, but you could use any color you wanted, or if you were trying to coordinate with your color scheme, that could work too. So I'm just gonna grab one of our regular brushes, pick up a little bit of this red, and offload this. And that's pretty good. Bring this down, and I'm gonna put this M, kind of like a monogram, if you would, in the middle of this block. Okay, now, one way you can get a stencil if you don't want to like smear this, you can take your piece of tape and pick it up. And so there I have this little monogram inside this one of the diamonds. I'm going to go back to the off-white one, this down again, and again I'm just going to find a little piece of tape so I can tape it to the edges. It's a 6x6 stencil and a 6x6 block, right? So on this one I want to do is, see these stronger diamonds here? I'm going to do those with the dark blue. And that dark blue, like I said, is deep midnight blue. The M was Rookwood red. Heritage brick would be a really close color. You know, life does happen. It does. So I'm picking up my blue and I'm offloading it, and I'm going to do these outer little diamonds. Left, right, up, down in this color, okay? Pick up the colonial blue brush that I already had out for doing something else. There goes my puppies. And I'm picking up the colonial blue, and I'm going to do, oops, the next little triangles. I'm going to make sure I got my little edges here. I'm going to lift that off. And I have the varying colors of this. Now this still has the blue and the lighter blue in it, and this is the one I'm going to pull in from my corners. All right, so this is this block. Here's the M, and then we have one more to do, and that's the one that I did in this color. And again, I do think, just to help coordinate them a little more, I am going to actually distress the edge of this one with a little sandpaper. Remember I said kind of this kind of remind me a little more of like the color of the chambray shirt that I have on. Very little. We got one more to use. We're going to use this one, and we are going to tape this down like I just taped the other one down. And I'm going to work it, my edges, offloading this. So this is the darker color. And from that, I'm going to pick up a little bit of the ivory. Here's my blue brush. I'm picking up just a little bit of that ivory. I'm going to mix it in here. And you can see it comes close to that color, but it's not exact. Still going to offload that. And we're going to get a little lighter. And we're going to take a quick peekaboo at this one. And I like that too. Okay, I have another round. This is a 12-inch round. And this one we're going to start with the ivory, or the buttermilk in my case. I'm going to put a few things away too. And because I want to be able to do this rather quickly, what I need to have ready to go is a brown. This is dark chocolate. You could also use burnt umber, but I'm going to use a little of that when I get to the second step. And I'm going to put a glove on for this one. So here we go. So I'm going to put a bunch of this on there, and I am going to use my infamous sponge, household sponge, nothing fancy, okay? And I'm just doing this so I can spread it quite quickly. Guess I should have a glove on this end too, okay? So I've got this, and it's wet, obviously. And what I'm going to do is just pick up a little bit of brown. And I'm just going to kind of smush it in here. All right, we are pretty good. We are actually going to grab this stencil. And I'm not doing what it says. What I liked about this is it just reminded me, as you've got these background cows, and you've got these cows, and you've got the cross, it just really spoke to me with the words from the other stencil that we already used. Pray until the cows come home. So we're going to do our cows first, because we're not going to worry about, I'm not sure where that, I might need to move the cross. I'm going to move these cows up as high as I can, using my, trying to stay centered. That's what we're going to be able to get to. Pray until, and I can move that down there. So we're going to do this first, okay? So let's just rid ourselves of this. And I'm just going to do, and I'm going to move the cross down. So we won't do the cross right this second. I'll borrow some of this. So here is my burnt umber. Here is something to offload on. I'm using a dome brush, so I'm catching my edges. And I'm going to start up here with these little cows that are up in the background. Okay. That's a little better. I'm going to, while I have this down, so we've got our cows. We know we're going to put some more grass underneath them. Then I'm going to go back and grab the Pray Until. There's my little dots there. I'm going to pick up a little of this darker green. This is the Hauser Green Dark. And I'm offloading my brush. So we have Pray Until, and then I can kind of scooch this right about there, right down there. Finishing off with my green. Okay, so we've got that much done. We're not quite finished. And I'm going to come in with this darker green and just, oops, that's not quite what I want to do. I'm going to just a little bit underneath. I know we've got the grass already, but we're going to pull it a little more. Then I want to make sure I have the cross from here. Just kind of reminding me of the Pray. Go back to our brown. And this is where I'm going to add my brown and a touch of black. So make it darker. Stand out a little more. And then we just make sure everything is grounded. And we can come back with that skinny little brush and a little more of that dark green. A little bits. Okay. What did we do? We used the same background technique with the light ivory, or the buttermilk rather, and a little bit of brown, just kind of dirty it up a little bit. And we've got our Highlander on there. And Pray Until the Cows Come Home. This one is 12 inches. Have a great rest of your evening. I look forward to seeing you guys again on Saturday during the launch for this wonderful collection. I will be on at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Cheers.